What if you could help others to find the power to heal themselves, physically, emotionally, and spiritually?
When I started teaching my classes, it was in 2002, and I was just doing the past life regressions and contacting the subconscious part. But then as the time went on and we found how powerful this was and what we could do with it, a lot of the students began saying, you know, advanced past life regression doesn't really tell what it's all about. This is so much more than that. We think you should change the name. So it was a few years ago we decided to change the name to Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And this is the healing technique that we've now been teaching it, well, since 2002, that's 12 years.
What if you could time travel with them, visit mythical places or angelic realms, other worlds, other galaxies? Help others to speak to their higher selves. You can. Dolores has taught thousands of people from across the world how to use QHHT, and now you can learn her method by going directly to dolorescannon.com. And don't forget to mention the discount code MORETALKS. Have you ever wondered, can you communicate directly with spirit guides, teachers, or non-physical consciousness, or even our higher selves? What would they tell us? My name is Kevin Moore, and since 2015, I started to practice a form of communication which is termed channeling. I have been interviewing experts on my talk show to find out, does life continue after we die, and can we communicate with those that have crossed over? With each expert I spoke to, they all had different ideas. Is there knowledge from the past which could be shared with the present moment? So I thought, why not just speak to the non-physical world directly through channelers around the world? And that's what I set out to do. They Call Us Channelers will take the viewers on a journey into the phenomena known as channeling. And my main goal with this docuseries is to bring a new understanding and awareness to channeling by looking within ourselves and asking, is it truly possible that we can all use this innate ability?
Spiritual path started when it was 2001, and I was really in this period a student of alternative medicine. I was studying for reflexology and all kinds of massage therapy and something like that. And then I met my girlfriend. Today she's my mother of my 4 children. I'm married. And then she started to speak with me about very interesting topic. It was about a person in Israel that have a background of computer engineer, that all of a sudden he started to open to be ET healer. And I was very curious, so I asked her, maybe you can tell me a little bit about it. So she told me, I think the best way you just read the book yourself. And my background, when I was a child, I had, some difficulties to read and write. I had some kind of dyslexia, ADHD, something like that. And let's say books was not really my cup of tea. But I saw the picture, on the front page. I said, I have to read it. And I started to read it, it was so amazing how my concentration, my focus, my memory of all the details from 2 hours of reading, 50 pages. And for me, it was like really Michael Schumacher. And then I heard, because in that time we were living together with her sister, and she said, well, tomorrow I have an appointment with him, this guy. His name is Adrian De Veer. And I cannot find the right bus to go there. So I told her, well, I have a car. It's easy. So I was a volunteer to be the chauffeur. And we drove there, and he offered us to walk in, to just sit there in the living room. And he was shaking my hand in the way that was like feeling really familiar. But I was like shaking from respect. I was 23 then, he was 40 something. And then after a couple of minutes, when my sister-in-law was in the room, he opened the door. He said, well, you're welcome. Basically, she went to get a session, to get a healing from him. And he gave us the permission to be present in the room. And I was like, it was weird for me, she is the client, why we can be there, but okay. So, and then he started to just talk to me during the session. I mean, she was on a table, and then in one moment he asked us, well, guys, do you want to see the ETs? And I said, yeah, of course. What we need to smoke, what we need to do in order to see them, because, And then he told me, yeah, what you need to do is very simple. You take a deep breath and you close your eyes and you try to visualize like you're walking out of your body and walk here freely in the room. It's something that you do every day, right? And then, I just did it. Very literally, I did it. And then I saw myself moving to a different dimension. And then I could see the ETs very clearly. I could also saw my girlfriend being scanned by the ETs. And the feeling was, I don't know if you've been ever in a cockpit. It's feeling of a lot of respect, a lot of responsibility, kind of in a roller coaster, but you are safe, but still, you're shaking from really being excited, but you felt there like some kind of cold but warm and also very safe environment. They are doing something very sacred over there. And then Adrian approached me, told me, well, you can start communicate with them. And I didn't know how to do that. It was like that. I was 23. I was like a student for alternative medicine. I had no background in spirituality. I'm not a religious guy, just ordinary guy that's very curious about the ETs. And I saw them they asked permission to operate me to do some kind of scanning. And I could see my lungs, I could see the organs inside my body. And in one moment, I could also saw every details in the session. And I described what I saw, and Adrian was very surprised because it's not every day that someone become clairvoyant in 2 seconds. And I didn't do anything special. I was just following the instructions literally. And then it was really intense. It's a lot of details now. But in the end of the session, he told me, I think they want to collaborate with you. And that's it. So he sent us home. For me, it was like, what? I said, how could it be? It feels so real. This is something I didn't expect. I couldn't it was not something that I was dreaming, in my life. It was not something that I was expecting. But all of a sudden, I felt from that moment on, my life going to change. And in that time, I was already having my first steps in my practice, and I had some clients, for massage and some reflexology, and I told them, well, listen, this is what happened to me, and probably I can give you a different service. So would you like to upgrade? Yeah. And then, I saw really miracle occurs. I saw healing that was so quickly and things that happened so remarkable. Couldn't see, I couldn't imagine it. It was my imagination, you know, and I could, and was kind of a process that took place. And I was, yeah. And let's say from that moment, my life started to change.
Now, what book was this? What was the title of the book that this gentleman had written? I think it was just available in Hebrew. I might be wrong.
It's also available in English, but and it was published in the States by Barnes and Nobles, if I'm not right, but also by Amazon. But it was in 2003 or 4. But people can find it. It's called Healing Entities X3. Yeah, I mean, people can find it, can search online, somewhere secondhand. It's still available.
Very interesting. And I can't imagine what it was like back then to be doing that type of work as well, because, it was very much underground, I suppose, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, even today, I feel completely free to speak about what I'm doing. I'm already doing it for more than 20 years. But, Israel in 2001, I mean, the consciousness of, let's say, the collective consciousness was already in a different place. And also, people were even speaking to people, tell them I'm going to dedicate my life in order to do alternative medicine, stuff that you can see, like, physical reflexology. Today is some, it's obvious. People are really laughing on me, saying, you're crazy, go and find a real job,
Well,
what people said.
When did this become your sort of full-time work then?
Well, in my heart, it was from the beginning. I knew it's going to become, my full life. I'm going to develop my whole life around it. And, of course, I have to build up my practice. And, it was not always so easy, but I always did it. Sometimes I had to take another job and stuff like that. But I was busy not just by doing session, but also training other healers or people that have potential to become ET healers, and joining with groups and coming together with other colleagues, let's say. And then, I mean, this was really the moment I felt, this is what I need to do, because I saw how beautiful result for the healing and what a beautiful work it is to do.
So how did you know you were channeling as this process moved forward for you?
Yeah, what happened, let's go back a little bit to the beginning, because what happened, I met Adrian DeVere, and then let's say 20 hours afterwards, I was sitting in lunch with my wife, and then we started to speak, and she started to complain about back pain. And then in that moment, I felt I need to look directly into her eyes, and I couldn't move. And then she started to feel all kinds of sensations. And I, for me, I was like scared that, what happened? I was afraid that something take over, And then in the moment that I almost got in panic, I felt some kind of energy on my shoulder said, Chagai, you remember yesterday what happened? It was not a coincidence. We are here with you, and we are also here to help your wife. So just stay calm. And so it was not like you talking to me. So I hear really language that I can recognize. But it was like a feeling in the beginning, but also kind of knowing. It was I even didn't know how to do that, because I never went to a channeling training or something like that. It was not even something that I was curious about. So, you know how God bring everything together. Um, I get also another friend. He was very curious. He was a journalist, and this guy was really a pin, and he was like almost raped me to know so many things that are going on, and he was really deep in spirituality and mystics and stuff, things like that, and he had a lot of knowledge himself, but he was not a medium. So he was like, Chagai, please, if you can ask the ETs this question, that question. And I was like, okay. And then from the answers that I received during the channeling, I started to gain some knowledge about spirituality, about how things are going, and I even needed to know what chakras are. I knew a little bit, but that was really my starting point. Because my personality, I'm not someone that he's no very curious and always looking for something, and I'm just getting, it is what it is, I'm just living the moment myself.
Now, your website, which we're going to talk about some of the sessions and other things that you do on there, your website is?
It's like my name, Chagai, and then Katz, KATZ.com.
Excellent. Okay. Now we're going to keep going back to the website just to talk about some of the work that you're doing that's on there as well. Now I don't believe you've ever written a book yet, have you?
Well, I heard this a lot, but I'm more into videos. But my wish is also to write a book. And actually, if you're just bumping to an open door, and I will tell you that actually I have a plan now to open a group that my intention is to really download deep information from the beloved ETs, and especially from Doran. And I will do that in a form of, kind of a Zoom meeting, which are going to download the information, and in the end, I will give permission to people to ask questions. But my intention is really to bring knowledge, not just only answering questions, but really downloading. And from that, and I think that will be the basic database for the book.
Well, that'll be very interesting when you start that work. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be updating the website with that information as well when you start doing that. So, and all the links we talk about here as well, of course, will be in the description below for this YouTube video. And you'll be able to find a plethora of information and links down there to contact yourself as well. So let's just go to Doran. You just mentioned there. Now, Doran is the head of, I guess, your ET team in a sense. Should we just speak about Doran just very briefly, and then also you can lead into this ET team that you're working with?
Yes, Doran is basically, it's part of Chagai, let's say, in a higher dimension. And, I can experience him as a separate, like, for example, when I'm talking to you, we are also one. But, I'm talking to you and you're Kevin, I'm Chagai. But I feel that is very, very close feeling when I speak with him. And it's very easy. I would not say very easy because, it's again, a channeling. We are here in a third dimension. He is on the 7, on the 8. And of course, there is sometimes conditions when it's not really easy to communicate. But when I started to understand what I'm doing, then I started to work with the ETs. They told me, we are working as a team. And every team is like minimum 3 persons, and there is always a leader. There is always someone that he is coordinate. It's not like he is the boss. He's giving commands and orders, but he is the one that needs to make sure that everything goes smoothly. And he's also have kind of authorization to speak with me directly, and behalf of his team. So this is more easy for me. Otherwise, you need to speak with few persons. So and actually we kind of have a relationship, and this is really and even with my family and my wife, we are always talking about him like he's part of me, and you have such a great humor, especially when he's laughing on me, because so this is really sometimes well, if someone is walking here and he asks who is Doran, how can I explain it? We have a friend from another dimension. So so it's really a relationship. It's close, it's personal, it's also professional, and it's clear, we know. And it's also when he is a kind of a public, let's say, because when I'm giving kind of really channeling, when I go into channeling mode, he is more, let's say, the public Doran. He's the speaker, and it's also different kind of language it is using. I mean, not really language, but different expressions, or sometimes it also sounds like he was writing a letter, and I just need to read it. But mainly speaks like we do.
I'm getting that feeling that when you first were bringing this information through and you were working with people who were, as you say, that journalist guy that, was asking some of those deeper questions at the time, I'm sure he also asked the question of, who these beings were. And that sort of has become more clear over time as well. But I mean, can you give us a bit of information of, who are these evolved ET beings? I mean, we're calling them ET beings. What do they call themselves? Where are they from?
Yeah, well, they're citizens of let's say Sirius B, and they are sometimes there is more civilizations, like Andromeda. Also lately, we have also have some friends that are coming from Andromeda, and also I call them friends, because for me they are very close. So and sometimes I can call them ETs, but no offense. So they are from the 7th dimension and beyond, because they are exist in multi-dimensions, and they are also aware of their multi-dimension existence. They can simultaneously be in awareness of few dimensions, but it's not always necessary. And of course, we cannot grasp them in our 5 senses, because this is an extension of our 5 sense capability, because every sense there is a frequency that is starting from one point and end up in other point. And let's say in order for me to feel this glass, I have to be in a certain frequency. But if it's crossing this frequency, I will not be able to hold it. So other dimension equals extension of the capability of our nervous system to pick up this sense. So this is the reason why we cannot see them, we cannot smell them, we cannot taste them, we cannot touch them in our physical body.
Interesting. So why are you able to communicate with them? What sort of connection and how far back does it go with them, with yourself?
The communication is based on telepathy, and the expression is based on my basic knowledge. That means words that I know, colors, and all the, let's say, geometric figures that I can even imagine beyond what I really saw in my reality, and extension. So let's say, for example, if you are an engineer, computer engineer, they will speak to you in a language which you can understand. But if I don't have this background, they will have to explain me in a different way that it will be more accessible for me. So it's based on my basic knowledge, but also on my previous knowledge. And there is really synchronization between it. So it's not that I am like in one day I will speak German without learning the language, but if it's necessary for me, they will help me to pick up more easily the information. It's like speedy training in that sense. Yeah.
Is there a sort of
And
cosmic connection?
well, I think we are all one big family, and there is of course link, because we are the human beings today are also having like missing links for our ancestors, and from what I understood, and it's something that is very now known, let's say in the field of consciousness, that we are basically a combination of few species that created what we are today. So our DNA is, of course, not only human, but also, let's say, from other stars and other, let's say, cultures, we say, and other civilizations that gave us those codes, so we can be who we are today physically. Yeah.
How do you connect then? I mean, what is your process of connecting with them?
Yeah, like I told you, this is like part of me that I can recognize, like for example, Doran, and it's also it's part of my soul, and sometimes I feel that I'm not only here, that I'm also in different dimensions, and it's, of course, I'm a person that, let's say 2 feet on the ground, and I also know what I'm doing, but I can also recognize that there is more activities going on which I'm not aware. Maybe it's better, but this is very, I think we are, let's say, for example, it's like, you have a company, and then you send one of your employers to a different country because there he can do something, but you are also his help desk. You're supporting him, you're providing him, and he's providing you. So this is part of the deal. He said, well, I'm going to this earth, and you will supply me things that I need in order for me to do this mission. So yes,
Interesting.
expert.
Yes.
Relocation.
Right.
Relocation.
Absolutely.
This is the
Absolutely.
word. Sorry.
How would you sum up then what is channeling to you?
Well, this is different way of conversation. This is, for me, it's different frequencies, the way you can understand a language or information. For me, it's a conversation, but I don't use, let's say, air vibration in order for me to hear. I'm using something that called tetra waves. Tetra waves, that is basically the frequency, like we have the radio. So we have the FM or AM, and this is basically electromagnetic fields, but there is also something that called tetra waves. This is just, let's say, technical way in order to transform, to just send information like we have on the internet. And of course we have places in our brain. Well, we have the pineal gland. Now everybody's speaking about the pineal gland and other glands in the brain that know how to react to those gentle vibrations that we can pick up. Basically, all our nerve system are big antenna. We are picking up information, vibration from every cell, from every organ. So it's not only about here, it's about being present in the field. Our, let's say, consciousness field is basically huge antenna that we can pick up information. And the intention and the awareness, okay, I'm aware there is, like, let's say, spirits, there is angels, there is ETs, And once I am aware, so I know the telephone number, then I can dial in. So yeah, and another thing about channeling is about trust. It's about trust, that you can fall backwards without knowing there is someone out there, but knowing, knowing there is someone that can hold you. So you are not going to interfere with your thoughts and something like that. And this is an art. This is an art, and I believe everybody have the ability to channel. But of course, some people have better condition. Let's say some people have, different starting point, or they have different potentials. But I believe everybody can channel in a way that can have control on it. I'm not talking about just being, randomable, picking something up, but really activating this channeling mode.
How do you keep that connection clear so that, in a sense, you're as much as out the way as you can be? Because there's always that human side there, isn't there? It's always going to be there, of course. But how do you make sure that what you're bringing through is as authentic as you feel it can be?
Yeah. Well, I will say the first thing that has come up in my head when you tell me that is my heart. And when I can really feel in my heart the vibration is right. And this is for me the best way to confirm information and also go to the center of myself. And of course, I also know I need to have some kind of conditions, let's say optimal conditions. But of course, life is always dynamic. But, if I'm, let's say, enough awake, okay, that I'm relaxed, that I have a little bit of concentration, I'm not too tired, I'm not drunk, I'm not having really so much things busy in my head. So I know in those conditions I can channel. So it's a lot of let's say self responsibility. And lately I also found the connection between, and it's really funny to hear it, because I it's something that I'm people tell me, and of course, let's say the nutrition is so important. I mean, I start to eat meat and fish 1.5 years ago, and yeah, maybe I had sometimes, but let's say I really, when I started to really lowering my, let's say, eating from the animals, I really started to have my clairvoyance abilities develop more, and the channeling was more steady. I was less tired after I was channeling. And so it's really important to maintain lifestyle. So keeping away, just keeping away from things that have lower vibrations. Because when we want to channel with an entity, with an angel, with an ET that is, let's say, present on the 7, on the 9 dimension, we cannot do that after we smoke a cigar or eating a good, steak, or doing something that is very 3D, low vibration. Yeah. So, I mean, you can do that, but it's going to end up in a point you say, okay, you had enough, but now it's the time for you to upgrade, to maintain your frequencies. Because we are not getting younger in this planet, and it's good when you're getting more older, then you are really starting to understand you have to really take care. And not only, of course, I want to be healthy and live a longer life and really enjoy life, but also if I want to maintain higher frequencies of channeling, I really need to stay away from everything that comes from animals. I mean, including cheese and and everything. And I will not say I am completely innocent, but I really found a connection between vibration, everything. Even when I'm going to watch something on Netflix, because I like action, yeah. And I really know, when I want to do good channeling, I need to stay away from this at least 24 hours, 48 hours. Otherwise, it's a vibration within you.
Yeah, and it's like you say, kind of saying it's not to say that you can't consume this type of food or watch these type of films. What you're saying is, in your work, you give yourself space to have the strongest connection, at the time when you're doing the work, and maybe time off is doing other things, and watching those movies and doing. Well, I'm sure your dietary lifestyle's a lot better. Like you say, now you've left meat, but so are you more vegan now, or?
Well, it's difficult for me to put a label, but let's say, because let's say this is my intention to become completely vegan. But I don't want to be in stress about it, because I know people that, they are going to look on all the ingredients in every cookie they're going to eat and stuff like that. So this is also giving stress, and it's also lower vibration. So I want to know that I'm doing my best, because, you're also consuming all kinds of poisons. You don't have control. So I think it's kind of being aware, picking up some information, feel things. And even when you do a sin, you did something, it's not in line. Just be honest with yourself. Say, okay, then I have to just wait before I go into channel, because I will not open my channel when I'm not in balance, because this is the way to bring down not nice energy to earth. And it's just to be honest with yourself. And this is also a frequency,
Of course it is.
Very important.
Now, these ET, this collective, these beings, have they ever visited this planet?
Well, let's say they are kind of living here, but physically, let's say, in order for you to see them, like, let's say, visiting, like physically to be here, it's not possible, because they need to transform to the 3D. But let's say they are here now in the room next to me. So they are basically here, but they are in a different dimension. So our 5 senses, we are in this body now, cannot pick them up, but they are here.
Yeah, I'm glad you kind of answered it like that, because that makes a little bit more sense with how you described it earlier on. And it almost makes me think, you're connecting to this group, and they're on, they're here, but they're not. They're in a reality that we can't even understand or perceive in our minds, because we're here having this human experience. But how many other consciousness or alternative types of life forms like this are there out there, where they're outside of this group's range of understanding?
I mean, this is very difficult. Yeah. This is very difficult to answer, because, if we're thinking about planet Earth, this is planet Earth, if you compare it to Orion or to the sun, or so, and you can imagine, even here in my neighborhood where I'm living, there is so many cultures. So, and basically, I would say that a lot of the people that lives here, people that from Israel, or originally from, I don't know, Japan, or people from Tokyo, or from Africa, they are also connecting to other star systems. They're also connecting to a different civilization in different planets. And this is why they look how they look, the Mayas and the Aborigines. And this is also a kind of a version of their existence in different dimension, in different planets.
Yes, but they are part of I only use the words, a galactic federation.
Well, we can say that in the times that I had that Adrian was alive and he was writing a book, he mentioned something called the 54 organization. What I understand, this is similar to what we say, the Galactic Federation, and this is unity, let's say like that, unity of let's say representative from so many planets, but basically, let's say they have a different mindset or different agendas. Let's say not really positive and negative, but different approaches to how support the human beings. Let's say I know that the Arcturians, for example, and there is all kinds of Arcturians as well, so I will not say all of them like that. But let's say the Arcturians, they will say, well, we will going to educate you how to fish a fish, and will not bring you the fish. But even if you need our support, we will not intervene. We will always teach you what to do. And this is sometimes, of course, if you, I don't know if you have children, but I have 4 boys, and
Wow.
if I and if I see them going to cross the street, and there will be a truck, well, there is a limit for me to educate them. I need to just grab them and intervene because I want them to leave. But there is this approach, and the people that I work, let's say people, the Syrian, my friends, they will say, well, we will teach you, we will train you, but if you need our support, we can do healing for you, we will guide you, we will do something, we can intervene, but there is also limitations. So they will not like fit you, they will not, they cannot control, of course, it's not there for them to decide what you're going to do, but they have a different approach because they say, well, not every person can heal himself when he feels that sick. Sometimes you need a little bit of support, or maybe more support, until you can support yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And I kind of want to lead on from there on the sort of question of why do they care for us so much? Why are they choosing to even work with you in a sense? What is their agenda?
Well, the way for me to explain it is like when you are a coach, or you're a teacher, or you have people that you love. You see their potential. You see where they can end up, or I don't know where end up, but let's say what their capabilities are, and you see how they're in their reality. I said, this is not where you really belong. I mean, you can go so much further. So they have this really deep knowing, and even I can feel emotional right now that you see someone that is like falling into traps, into holes, into doing all kinds of stupid things, and you say, come on, you don't know who you are. I mean, you are that big, but you think you are that big, or maybe just like that. So they have really inside of them, they have emotions, by the way. Some people say, well, ETs doesn't have emotions. Not true. They have emotions. They will not be angry at us because it's not that emotions. Anger is not emotion at all. But let's say they can really feel they are the way they are born into position. They have less free will because they don't need it. They know where their destiny is heading. So they don't need, to go all this way until they will know who they are, and they need to go to India, and they need to go to South America, They don't need to go to this whole journey. The way they are born, they know what their job will be for the rest of their life, and they are whole with that. So in that sense, they are born into the knowing and to a job when they're going to support other planets. But what they're earning from this, because it's about a balance. It's not about earning. It's about balance, that every point of perception in this universe wants to balance. So once I will balance your energy, then I will get balance back. And then I will also know that when I'm doing that, there will be more waves and wave of impact, and we are going to expand. This universe is constantly expanding. So how you can expand if the vibration is low? So in order for the universe to expand, we need to do something to increase our vibration and to learn and to develop. So when they're doing that, they're also earning first a personal feeling like satisfaction, that okay, I did it, I feel good in what I'm doing, but also they're really alive. They know that what they are doing is giving effect on so many things they have even doesn't have clue of what it is doing, but they're aware of it. I don't know if it makes sense. It's such a long explanation.
No, thank you very much for that. And I just want to move now into the healing side of your work as well, because obviously that's what it's all about. Now, on your website, you offer ET healing sessions, coaching sessions, space clearing sessions. You've got sound and meditation. I think that's channeled as well. I think some of that is. Just go over the sessions and other healing forms that you offer to clients and what they can do for people.
Yes. Well, basically, of course, my main, let's say, what I'm doing the most is to support people in their challenges in life. And let's say to keep it more focused on health channeling, on health, let's say, issues or challenges that people have in life, like physical pain, illnesses, disbalance, this depression, all kinds of things. And the ETs, my friends also, the ET medical teams, what we are doing is basically give a healing to people in order for them to heal. And I will give a quick explanation how does it work. Normally, people going to book a session. And in the session, what we're doing, first we do kind of an intake, we get to know each other, and I will explain everything that I'm doing. And I will start to pick up from the person what he is bringing. And let's say, for example, when someone, actually really 1.5 hours ago, I had a client, he came to me, said to me, I'm good in communication with friends, but when it's got to do with, with girls, then then I'm really blocked. And I don't know why, because, I have high self-esteem, I'm good in what I'm doing, and I have a good job, but every time I feel stuck. So, and then I said, well, then what we do now, we basically, we understand the reason why he came, because he wants to get married, he wants to get no girls, he wants to, have a relationship. And it's not easy when you cannot talk to them even. And so what we're doing in that matter, we're starting to scan his body. So the ETs are starting to scan his body and to look where the blockage are. And when they're locating the blockage, they're going into the source. So in that case, really what happened, someone attacked this guy when he was speaking to a girl, when he was 13 years old, 13. Now he's 35. And he was speaking to a girl, and he wants to have a contact with her. And then someone just attacked him, like physically. And he got so scared that his subconscious knows, when I'm going to speak with a girl, someone will attack me. So it's better not to do that. But he was not aware of it at all. So what we are doing, we can search in his memories to look for where the issue that he brings, because I don't know, maybe he have more issues. in his life, but he brings this issue now. So we're going to actually track this trail and end up in this event. And probably there were more events, but was the event that he brings today, so we can search and help him. So the ETs can go back in time and to change it a little bit, like past life regression. But we are not, normally we are not do that when the person is aware, because we want to do it quick. We want to do this change in a way that he will not have an option to be too much in his mind. And this is mainly what, in those cases, what they're doing. So they were cleansing his consciousness and work on all the energy centers and open them. And after I was ready with the healing, I told him what we did, and he said, "Oh yeah." Then I told him that something happened in the age of 13. I didn't tell him the whole story, but then he recognized that. So when he recognized that, then there's like two dots from the past and from the present moment that are linked together and starting to do healing. And so basically this is a self-healing, but what we're doing is just helping the person direct his consciousness on that. This is one option. Another option that let's say someone have bad meniscus and he's really have pain and probably need to do surgery. So what the team is doing is working on his other bodies, let's say on etheric body, on the astral body, and what they're doing, they can transform the astral body to a different dimension, to the 7th dimension. Like just take the leg, bring it to a different dimension, and then make kind of an operation and bring it back. And when it brings it back, there is kind of synchronization between the physical and the etheric body. And then there is kind of a process to take place. It's very different from each individual. How basically the manifestation of the healing is working. This basically we can treat many things, but we're working with people, so it doesn't matter what the person brings. They have a lot of abilities. Of course, it's not, I'm not a doctor and I cannot give medical advices, and I will not do that. And if there is emergency, people need to go to doctor or to the ER. It's not me to do, but a lot of people with chronic diseases, chronic pain, this is the place.
That's fascinating. So many types of issues that you've got, and of course issues then as well, where you're training the clients to connect with their heart. So maybe they've got an issue with they don't know the direction they're going in. They're trying to find their purpose. They've lost their direction, or maybe they're in a lot. There's a cloud of depression that's been with them for a long time, and or whatever the issue is. Mostly, there is healing that you're able to offer, and this is all done remotely as well.
Yes, I can tell that my work today, or let's say 99%, is remotely, let's say with Zoom and those kind of technologies, because it's easy. Then you can reach everyone. You don't need to travel, which I did a lot, and people travel to me, and also doing something good for the environment. Yeah, and of course there is a lot of healers. They have people that walked in. In my case, it's different right now. Yes.
Yeah, it's so different nowadays, isn't it? So different. Even just to do this interview is technology has changed so many things for the best. I want to just very briefly just touch on, kind of leading on, I suppose, from where we were. When we heal ourselves, we're really becoming our better version, aren't we? In so many ways. I'm not just talking about physical issues, but obviously your work also is, like I've said, all to do with healing the heart as well. Healing that deeper part of ourselves, which is all part of the package, I suppose. When we heal ourselves, we sort of have that. I feel that we have that knock-on effect of maybe healing the world. We talk about that. We don't like the world that we live in, or with a lot of the issues that are going on right now. But I'm sure there's knock-on effects, isn't there, for healing ourselves, even just the people around us, our loved ones, the effects to them it has for us becoming a better person.
Yeah. Yes. What I always tell to my clients, we can do so far, but in the end, you really need to trust yourself. And when I say yourself, you need to trust your higher self, because he is the one that when you allow him to be present in your physical self or in your present self, then you are healed. Because it's not like I'm doing something with my hands to heal myself. I'm just let it happen. And I trust. The trust, this is something, I don't know, it's so easy to explain it. But, when I'm doing healing to a person, the first thing that I'm telling to my clients is put their hands on the heart, breathe to the heart, being aware to your heart, because your heart is connecting to your soul. And one of the most incredible things, biological, is the first cells that are starting to grow in human body. You can guess this is the cells of the heart, and from the heart, all the body is created. So what is behind those cells starting growing the heart? And this is, of course, the power of life. And when you are there, you can feel more relaxed. You can generate the frequencies of the healing within yourself.
So when we're, as you say, trying to connect the higher self or the heart, or going with the heart into our daily routines, into our life, one way of doing that is what would you say? If it feels like it's meant, it's the right thing at that deeper level, you're doing the right thing without knowingly, as long as you're not knowingly hurting anyone. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And sometimes, to be connected to your heart, it's not like, everything nice. And sometimes you have to make hard choices, really hard choices, because when you are not in the right place, when you are not in the right job, when you are not in the right relationship, when you make a decision to your heart, you will have to go through a journey. And I will say to the people, watch out before you're connecting to your heart, because this is one-way ticket.
Yeah, there's no going back.
No going back, man. and this is and for some people it's frightening, because you have your life and you have your people around you and things you're doing, and all of a sudden, when you make a connection to your heart, well, suddenly you don't really like to connect to your heart, because it's going to open your eyes, and you have to do some moves, because otherwise, but it's not always that dramatic, but of course, in order for us to live, really to be alive here on earth, and sometimes, people mix with emotions, because emotions are not the heart. The heart is power of creation. The emotions is around it, and sometimes the emotions, they are the actually blockage that we have. So we are teaching also people how to let go of their emotions, and not shutting down the emotions, but keep them in balance, so the heart can generate higher frequencies of life.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, I know that we're quite a way into this conversation, or probably an hour in right now. I wonder if there's any sort of message that Doran would like to give to the audience, maybe.
Okay. All right. So then I will go into to channeling modes. Will take me few moments. But what I will asking for everyone that's watching this video is just be open. Even just put your hand on your heart. So all the information that I'm going to bring from Doran, it's going to touch your heart. And if you feel it's resonate with you, take it. If it doesn't resonate with you, just let it go. Maybe it will come later, but just be honest now and be open, because it's going to contain also vibration of whatever you need right now. So, okay. Hello, everyone. I am Doran, and you already know something about me. I am so glad to speak to you now, and I'm so glad to be present in your field of creation. We are your galactic friends. We always were, and we always be. We are now in this period. We'll come more closer to you, and we're going to create more and more connections to the people on earth, because we want you to really be aware of who you really are and what you're capable to do, and what is the reason why you are living here on this planet. We are very happy to announce that we're going to reach out to you in order to send you some healing frequencies, if you like. And if you feel yourself, you also would like to collaborate with us, make a contact, ask for it, and we will make sure you will get your right support and right collaboration. Because the world we are living here today need more support, and we really want and really wish to support you. This is all our reason to be alive, and all our reason to be here. So you can feel our vibration now sending to you. And you know there is so much information out there. But our mission also is for you to feel our true vibration and true intention. So you can accept your higher self talking to you right now. Our message also is to allow yourself just to be who you really are in every moment, and dedicate your life to let go of any guilt, of any bad emotions about yourself, because it's never going to support you, never going to help you. Understand that for spiritually development, there is no need for suffer. There is no need for sickness. There is no need for hard lessons. you can also learn in an easy way. Doesn't make you lazy, doesn't make you light thinker. You know, this planet has so much to offer to you, but you have to judge. You don't have to judge. You can now connect to your heart and let go of your inner judgment and start to live your life as a vibrational connection to the heart. Many information says that you need to go on the hard way in order for you to learn lessons. But it doesn't really true. You can learn in so different ways, in a way that you're going to laugh, in the way that you're going to have so much joy. So reach out to your higher vibration by making sure you are doing every day something fun for yourself, something fun for others, but first for yourself. First for yourself, and then you can serve others. We love you so much, and we are sending you now some frequencies, healing, vibration, and care. For those couple of moments, just close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, and feel. Thank you so much, my dear friends. Very happy to be here with you in this promise to you that every time you're going to watch this video, you will get different insights and different vibration as you need it. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You're welcome.
Wow. Chagai, there's so many moments in this interview of important messages. And I think one of the ones that you've mentioned in this, and I've sort of mentioned to you as well, is the idea of oneness, that we're all one. Is there any sort of add on to that, any sort of final message that you might like to give the audience?
Love others like you love yourself. The more you do that, the more you love yourself more. The more you feel the self-love to you.
And your website, just one last time?
To spell it, www.chagai.com.
Well, that's great for the podcast. And
Yes.
Chagai, I just want to say, just thank you so much for coming on today.
You're welcome. Welcome. It was really, I did so many interviews, but I always feel so much honored in this space. And thank you so much, Kevin, for having me in your show and in this beautiful podcast. And it was really pleasant to speak to you. And, I'm just wishing you that you will keep on going your good work. And thank you so much for watching.